What is up, guys? It's Swammer here, back again with some more Great League action. I promised about a week ago that I was going to showcase Cresselia in the Great League, and I've had a little bit of trouble figuring out exactly how it fits in. And basically, I ended up using it as a Ferrothorn replacement in the Azumarill Ferrothorn Deoxys lineup, and it doesn't do any of the things that Ferrothorn does quite as well as Ferrothorn does them, but it has a lot better negative matchups. So it's sort of a safer option in that slot in case you get stuck in a bad matchup. So let's go ahead and get into the matchups. So if you do go with this team, you need to make sure that you are leading with Azumarill because if you're leading with one of the two Psychics, you don't really have a good safe switch option. So this first game, we catch an Azumarill on the lead. You guys know I like to build up to a Hydro Pump, let them hit me with whatever charge move they have, and then swap out into my Deoxys. So gonna let this Hydro Pump come through, and then swap into Deoxys. This puts him on a fairly even energy footing, and just going to be building up here. I miscounted here. I thought this could only be an Ice Beam, but it is another Hydro Pump, so that is quite a lot of damage. Just going to be going for the Rock Slide now to get off some damage on this Azumarill. Getting it to about half health, building up some more energy, and then going for a Psycho Boost. This is going to get it fairly low, but it is going to be able to survive, and it's going to take us out. We're just going to let it go down. So going to come back in with Azumarill now, and build up a little bit of extra energy, and then go for a Hydro Pump to take it out. And so we're not in a great spot. We are definitely behind, and it's a Zapdos coming in. So this is a really, really tough Pokemon for a lot of teams. So throwing the Ice Beam because it'll deal a lot of damage. Have to shield this in case it's a Thunderbolt. I think it's only a Drill Peck, but because it's Shadow Zapdos, it would still do a ton of damage. Bring in Cresselia now, and they bring in Registeel. So Registeel is a big fat wall to Cresselia, so I basically have no chance in this matchup now. I'm just going to be going for Future Sight. It does the most. But yeah, like Ferrothorn in this position, Cresselia really cannot put a big hurt on. It does a little better because it survives a couple charge moves instead of just basically getting taken out by Focus Blast. But it's not going to be able to really do too much to this Registeel. So going now back into Azumarill. We are going to go ahead and shield this. It might take us out if we don't, so get a little bit of lag there, and then just able to get off the Ice Beam against the Zapdos coming back in, so we get the second shield, but this is going to be taking us out regardless of what it is. It is a Drill Peck, it basically takes us out. We've got a Grass Knot ready, but it's not going to be enough to take out this Zapdos. And that is going to basically be a good match there. So Shadow Zapdos, if you didn't know, very strong, but you need to use an Elite Fast TM to get Thundershock, and I do not have an Elite Fast TM. I did not get the Community Day box. So second match, we catch an Altaria on the lead. This is a much better lead for us. So I'm going to be building up to that Ice Beam, expecting him to swap out, though. And he does swap into Registeel, so we're going to go for the Hydro Pump, hoping that he doesn't shield this, but he probably will. He does shield, so going to build up some extra energy until he hits us with a charge move. Not going to shield, and then going to swap into my own Deoxys here. I know that with having Deoxys here, I'll definitely be able to win Switch Advantage now. I will have to invest a shield, but I should be able to leave with a lot of energy. So having a little bit of lag, missing a couple fast moves there, which isn't great, especially because most of my damage is coming from my fast moves. So going for the Rock Slide here, not going to do a lot of damage, but I just need to get a little bit extra chip damage on this Registeel. And then they actually swap out back into Altaria. So this is good for me. I'm going to let this Sky Attack hit me, I think I can survive. And I do, but it does not register the Rock Slide, which is really unfortunate. So I'm going to go straight for the Ice Beam here. This will be taking out the Altaria, but we actually get a shield, which is even better for us. So he's going to drop another Sky Attack. I am going to have to shield to be able to survive it. But we're going to be able to build up a little bit of extra energy and then go for an Ice Beam. Just one bubble extra because he was quite a ways ahead on energy, but this Ice Beam is going to be taking him out. And then it's a Toxicroak in the back. So this is great for Cresselia. Cresselia is going to have absolutely no problems cleaning this up. Sludge Bomb's going to deal a fair bit of neutral damage, but those Psycho Cuts are adding up quick. I go ahead and go for the Future Sight, probably overkill, but I really wanted to make sure. So that takes out the Toxicroak, and then it is Registeel coming back in, and we're going to be able to get to the Grass Knot very quickly to take out this Registeel. So that was a good matchup. Being able to get your Cresselia against a Toxicroak is the dream. That is probably its strongest matchup. So that was really good for us. That's really where it's different from Ferrothorn, is that it does quite well against the fighters, but it does not do as well against the Charmers. So that's the biggest difference. Going to get into the third matchup here. And in this third matchup, we catch a Bastiodon on the lead. And this is honestly a pretty neutral matchup, which is very surprising. You would expect Azumarill to win this fairly handily, but he doesn't. He basically, if he goes straight Hydro Pump, it's more or less a tie. So we CMP tie there. I do win the charge move priority, but I am going to have to shield the Stone Edge. It would deal quite a lot of damage. Building up some energy, and he actually swaps out into Victory Bell, which is pretty good for me. I have the Ice Beam, so I'm going to drop the Ice Beam, and then I can swap into Cresselia, and all of this is going to be farm. I'm dealing super effective damage with those Psycho Cuts. He's going to get off a Leaf Blade, but that's totally fine. Deals not a ton of damage, and we're able to take him down with Psycho Cuts. And then in comes Bastiodon. I'm going to go ahead and shield this because I have a lot of loaded energy on this Cresselia, and I want to make sure that I use it. And these Grass Knots are going to be neutral, so we're still going to be able to deal a decent amount of damage. So not a lot, but we're able to get to another one really fast. Having some lag problems here, so that's not great. And this is good because it's either going to force him to use his energy, in which case we can farm down with Deoxys counter, or it's going to take him out, and we do actually get to another Grass Knot here to take him out, so that was really good for us. So Medicham coming in, going to bring in my Defense Deoxys. Might have been better to bring in Azumarill, I'm not sure, but want to find out the moveset first. So they're going for Power Up Punch, which is probably smart on their part. They know that their Medicham's going to have to take out 3 Pokemon at this point. And they're able to get to it quite quickly. We're going to go for double Psycho Boost here. The first one will be getting the shield, and the second one will be dealing a decent amount of damage. And then we're going to build up to another Psycho Boost, and then swap out to reset the debuffs. Because we're very debuffed right now, so you can see it would be a lot more Psycho Boosts before we could take him out. So we're going to go back into Cresselia. This is just giving them a little bit of energy, and then I actually think I'm going to come back in with Azumarill, force them to use their energy. This is going to be a power-up punch. Hasn't been long enough for an ice punch, and then we're just going to stall out here for a while. I know this power-up punch won't take me out, but my opponent doesn't get any credit for it, which is just unfortunate. Really comes down to the lag there. That's not great. And then I'm powering up a long, long time for this Ice Beam. Is it going to hit? Am I going to do damage? Who knows? It does go through, so that's good. Definitely unfortunate for my opponent that power-up punch didn't count, but it wouldn't have been enough. I still had the loaded energy on the Deoxys, even if it had taken out the Azumarill, but it wasn't going to take out the Azumarill. So close match, but able to pull ahead on that one. So here we come up against a Dugong on the lead, and Dugong actually wins against Azumarill, but So you want to dance around and basically make sure you're not wasting energy when you're debuffed with Icy Wind. So I'm going to swap into Defense Form Deoxys, who has a great matchup against Dugong. Counter is super effective, as is Rock Slide. He's going to hit me with an Icy Wind here, which is going to debuff me, which is not great. But then they bring in Sableye. So this is a terrible, terrible matchup for Defense Deoxys, especially if his attack is debuffed. But we're happy to see the Sableye come out because ghosts are a huge threat to this team. It hard counters both Cresselia and Deoxys, so we need to get this out of here as quickly as we can. They actually commit to the farm down, which is a very aggressive play. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Azumarill and go straight for that Ice Beam, which is going to force him to shield. So he does shield. I'm not going to shield this Power Gem. Does a decent amount, but not too much, and then I'm going to farm down. And here I miscalculated. I thought he would only be able to get to a foul play, but it is another power gem, so this gets me quite low. I definitely think it would have been better to save some more health on the Azumarill, but I'm going to go for an Ice Beam as soon as I can. Just want to get off as much chip damage as I can with this Azumarill and then swap into Cresselia. Not doing a lot, though, to be honest. And then they bring in their Dugong, which is a good choice, but I'm able to get to a Grass Knot before they get an Icy Wind, which is important. And then we actually CMP tie for the second one, which it's tough. I'm going to let this hit me because I know that I'm going to need those shields for that Azumarill. So this Grass Knot is not going to take it out, but it is going to get us low enough that one more Grass Knot will. So if we'd gotten that off first, it would have been very close to taking it out, but we didn't. So this Grass Knot will, and now we're going to swap. We got to shield this, even if it's Ice Beam, but we're going to swap basically as soon as we can into. Actually, no, I'm building up to the Grass Knot and trying to swap on the charge move. But swapping into that Azumarill to reset the debuffs on the Cresselia. So Grass Knot coming in, this is going to deal quite a bit of damage to the Azumarill. We've still got a shield left for this Ice Beam or Hydro Pump. It is a Hydro Pump, so that's good. And then we're going to be able to get to a Grass Knot before they get to another charge move, and my opponent surrenders. So definitely really good close matchup there. Whenever you're up against an Icy Winder, you want to dance around with your switches and save your energy for when you're not debuffed. So this next match, we come up against a Haunter in the lead, which is honestly great that we get it in the lead. I don't like the Haunter versus Azumarill matchup, but the matchup against Cresselia and Deoxys is terrible. So going to have to shield this. It is a Shadow Ball, so that's definitely a good shield. They're going to be shielding this Ice Beam, which is totally fine. And then we should be able to just commit to the farm down by investing one more shield. So we are going to shield this. I think it's enough for a Shadow Ball. It is a Shadow Punch, but that's fine because 2 more bubbles and it's going to go down, so it does not get to another charge move. And then here, I make a critical error. I have tons of stored energy. They bring in Azumarill. What I should have done is switch to my Defense Deoxys, but instead I waste all my energy on this Azumarill. The Hydro Pump damage would have been much better spent on a Pokemon weak to or at least neutral to water, but using it all on Azumarill, who's going to be resisting it. So this isn't great. My goal had been to get it within Grass Knot range. However, you can see they're just going to swap out now into Registeel, and I'm going to get walled. So I definitely should have been able to win this match. I should have swapped into Registeel when into Defense Form Deoxys when the Azumarill come out. And then I would have at least had either the saved energy or, I would have had the saved energy for when the Registeel came in. But as it is, I'm just going to be going for Future Sights, which aren't going to deal a lot of damage. He still has a shield left, and I can't really apply any shield pressure with the Cresselia because it's not dealing enough damage with its charge move. So I'm going to swap into Defense Form Deoxys now. He's probably going to drop a charge move and then look to switch out. I wanted to farm him down if I could, but not able to. Able to get off a Rock Slide against this Azumarill, but this is just going to be getting the shield. Might have been better to go for double Psycho Boosts, but I don't think I could have gotten there. He's going to get the Hydro Pump here, which is going to take me out, and then both of my Pokemon are too low to really make much difference here. So, good match by my opponent. I should have been able to capitalize on leaving that Haunter matchup with so much energy and correctly calling the Shadow Ball. But I dumped all that energy into Azumarill, and guys, that's why with Azumarill, in the mirror matchup, I really think it's best to switch out once you've got that stored energy, because that energy is going to do you more good elsewhere. So first thoughts around Cresselia is that it's not actually as strong as I thought it was going to be. It just has sort of a weird place in the meta where it's not as good as Azumarill or Registeel, and it doesn't fill the niche roles quite as well. It's not like an anti-meta pick. So definitely was fun to try out, but not sure that it's going to make it into my normal rotation. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.